Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of September 17 through 30, 2024. This is a reading if you are a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, or have another significant Scorpio placement in your chart and you like to be a cross watcher. This reading will be covering this next 2-week time period. I am doing a full horoscope astrological spread, and I use 2 decks of cards. I am using the Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck, which is my main deck that I always use, and clarifying with the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, done by Lady Frida Harris, I should note. And then our extra oracle pull will be from the Black Moon astrology cards, because we do have a lunar eclipse coming up on Tuesday. But first I want to say welcome. If you're new to this channel, it's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. I do want to mention that I have, if you read the description box below, if you want to find out about my services, coaching, readings, channelings, the kind of work that I do, new school that I'm starting, check the description box below for a link to my website and also links to my social media where I do a daily morning coffee with Breege, where I will do a daily tarot reading. And we also talk about topics that have come up in not only coaching, but also in channeling and so forth. So we do have a little community that likes to join those. So if you would like to, you are most welcome. Okay, so let's, business out of the way here. Let's talk a little bit about this eclipse. The eclipse that's happening is going to be in Pisces. It's full moon eclipse in Pisces. And in 2 weeks, of course, not the time period of this reading, but there's going to be a solar eclipse in Libra. So it's, it's in Libra? It's in Virgo. It's in Virgo, I think. So we have this solar eclipse that's coming, and so we've got this, this energy here of, with Pisces. Okay, Pisces is this very nebulous and diffuse kind of energy. It can be the source of imagination, of inspiration, of us having visions of things that are not necessarily in the realm of the rational, but accurate nonetheless. It can also represent things that we have that are not necessarily so accurate. That might be dreams or escapist or flights of fancy and things like that. Pisces covers the whole gamut. The 12th house, which is connected to Pisces, has to do with both self-undoing and self-liberation. So it has to do with, there's a lot of things that come in. It has to do with the information that's coming in that's new, that's on the outside, that's uncertain, and it represents energies where we may not be clear about how we're going to move forward. And let's start with looking at your Pisces house here, Scorpio. You have fire and you have the Knight of Discs. So yeah, I feel like you are really, I feel like there may be an impatience here with you right now, Scorpio, because fire here shows in the 12th house, this is something more that you're keeping hidden from others. So this is almost a thing where you feel like you're kind of putting on a face for people, but underneath you may be feeling very, very intensely emotional, maybe even angry, and I think impatient, because when I see the Knight of Discs is about something that moves along slow and steady. Might be too slow for you right now. You might be kind of like, hey, listen, hurry up, I'm ready to go. This could be anger, but it could also, it's Mars energy, so this could also just be that you're just fired up and ready to go for something. It doesn't necessarily have to be an anger thing, but in the 12th house, it frequently represents rather intense emotions that we're not showing, and I feel like these may be around impatience for you. You have in your first house here, you've got air. You've got air with the 6 of Swords. Okay, so 6 of Swords on the Crowley deck is called the Science card, and I feel like this is, in this particular case, it's talking about. It's usually a card of moving away from difficulties, being less stressed, which definitely fits in with the idea of air, because air is like becoming detached from something that you've identified with, because this is the first house. This is you needing to kind of lighten up a little bit, really, with air. It's kind of like, emotionally detaching from a particular situation. But the 6 of Swords in this particular deck also means learning to see things as they are rather than as you want them to be. So there is also this sense, when you have air, there's this sense of logical thought as well. Like trying to look at things, kind of looking at the cold, hard facts of something. And being this is in the first house, this is you may be doing a lot of self-evaluation. You may be taking a good look at yourself. But it is also reminding you do have these kind of very intense emotions here. So it is saying, make sure that you take a little bit of a distance from it, like a meditative distance, where you're able to stand back and watch yourself a little bit, and maybe looking at yourself as though you were, like if you were going to advise somebody else. You know what I mean? Like just try to see yourself without getting too involved in it. Sometimes it even means having to have a conversation with other people to get to something. So that because sometimes we're too close to something to see it, as they say. But I feel like, yeah, there's this kind of reevaluation going on, and you may be doing a lot of thinking these days, trying to get away from an anxious situation. But yeah, there is this idea of looking at something as it really is. Your money situation seems like it's been a little bit difficult with Sirius here, or there's been some challenges potentially. And with the Lovers here, yeah, I feel like there's decisions that need to be made about finances here. There's something... it just feels like there's a difficulty that Sirius, of course, indicates the ability to overcome difficulties. I mean, it doesn't mean that you are in terrible trouble, but it does mean that, this could be a time when you feel like you're treading water a little bit. Or it also can indicate just a need to think differently about money as well. Sirius has to do with thinking outside the box, finding a new way to do things. Maybe you've been, maybe if you've been working at a job where you're exhausted and you need to stop, maybe it's saying, okay, maybe you need to think about a new way that you're going to bring in income. Nonetheless, whatever it is, you've got decisions, I feel, that are coming up with the Lovers here. Now, okay, what's jumping out on me is the fourth house. Fourth house is actually very important for this particular eclipse. It feels like it's in Pisces, but there seems to be a lot of stuff around home, family, and ancestry and things like that. And interestingly, you have the twins and the star here. So there's a lot of possibilities here in the home sector. Now, whether this has to do with family. Now, the twins could indicate somebody moving in with you. That's not out of the question. Not necessarily the case, but that's not out of the question. It also can just indicate partnering with somebody in the family, or maybe connecting with somebody in the family. With the star, there's a sense of possibility, of hope, or of being vulnerable, or of being open. Like it seems like there's a lot of hope and possibility around the home sector here, which is interesting. Whoever this is, okay, whether this is a family member, whether this is a loved one, or whether it be a partner, or legalized or not in the sense of married or not married, who moves in, or whether this is somebody's family member, child, whether they're actually physically moving into your home space or whether they are just connected in some way, whether this is just somebody in the family who there's going to be a connection with or a communication with, whatever it is, there's a great potential and a great chance here from whatever this connection is, like something that's allowing you to almost achieve your wishes through some kind of a connection that feels like a family connection here. So take it as it resonates. In the third house, it has to do with siblings, but also with communication, short journeys, commerce, if you're in your own business. Okay, we've got water and fire here, which is interesting. We've got water with the Queen of Wands. So yeah, there's shifting and there's changing. Queen of Wands, there's a very determined energy with the Queen of Wands. Now, being this is the house of communication, this could be somebody you are communicating with or working with, okay? This is a strong energy of someone who's very fiery, who's very seen, who's very recognized, maybe very ambitious as well with this Queen of Wands energy. Could be you. I mean, it could be, but I feel like this may be somebody that you're dealing with. I don't know if it has to do with this person here. But water indicates that there are changes. There's a need to go with the flow in a particular situation. Because again, it's interesting. I've been seeing a lot of this water fire kind of energy coming together, and that suggests to me that there could even be strong emotions with something here, and maybe a determination to move forward. But there's definitely a need to kind of go with the flow with something here. And so there are messages, I feel, and again, potentially even from this person, who are going to bring change. Astrologically, the Queen of Wands has to do with either... Queen of Wands has to do with, it's fire signs, so it's Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but it can also just be somebody with a lot of the qualities of fire, or somebody who even has a physical appearance that has to do with, that we think of as being fiery, okay, in some fashion. So yeah, take that as it resonates there. All right, let's see. Let's move on to looking at, okay, we looked at the 12th house. I'm going to go over the 8th house and look at your own house, Scorpio. And we've got okay, you've got Buckle of Isis with the 10 of Wands. It is definitely time for you to drop some kind of a burden. This is a house of transformation. Something is coming to an end. Some kind of work you've been putting in will be rewarded. Sticking to your path, sticking to your guns has been a good thing. And some kind of burden that you've been carrying is going to, you can finally put it down. That definitely seems to be the thing. Maybe that's where you're making some financial decisions here, because this is also the card of joint finances. But there's definitely the sense of, this is a card of oppression. So this is when we feel like we're overwhelmed and we're tired and we're not doing it anymore, okay? We're not doing it anymore. We've put the energy in. And sometimes the sacrifice is just literally saying, I'm walking away from this, I'm letting this go. So you can decide which way that works for you. And I feel like it's going to depend, it's basically going to give you the options to make these decisions. Because sometimes people carry these 10 wands very proudly to say, look at me and look at all the burden that I carry. So the question is, are you going to insist that you are going to continue to carry this burden? Or are you going to finally put it down? Because now you're going to have the opportunity to put it down, okay? And if you have been working hard at something, this does promise reward, but sometimes, again, the sacrifice implied with Buckle of Isis indicates that sometimes we need to let something go. Okay, so let's get into the houses of work, okay, for those of you who are interested in career and job and things like that. Okay, we've got adjustment with Osiris. So adjustment is about finding balance. There could be something legal here going on. When this comes up, and we have this again, we have Osiris. I don't know if you have a kind of job where you have a managerial position or a leadership position. That can be implied here. Generally, if you're at a job and you're wondering about whether you're going to leave it or not, this usually is a card of stability. I always feel like Osiris indicates you're kind of staying put with what you're doing. But adjustments can either indicate something coming to you of a legal nature, or it can indicate the need to create balance. This could be in terms of your physical health too. You may need to kind of get in a solid place where you have control of things and where you're working on balancing your energies. Because if you've been burning the candle at both ends, you may need to be thinking a little bit more about work-life balance. If I look up here at and I'm seeing it again in your 10th house of career. You've got Earth, but you've also got the Art card. And as you can see, the Art card shows, we have, again, water and fire over here, right? This is the balancing act. And you've got water and fire here, and you've got this idea of balancing here. So this is about integration, about taking things that have two sides and creatively making them work together. Yes, I might have to work, logically I'm feeling like, okay, I have to take this step, and this step, but also where do your feelings fit in? You don't want them all buried back there. You want to make sure you're finding a solution that satisfies both your logical side and your emotional side. Something that is satisfying to the soul as well as what you need perhaps for the pocketbook. And yeah, we have Earth here as a consideration. So this is definitely something that is connected to money. So there could be a career that maybe if it has been something that hasn't made money, we're seeing this, you put in a lot of effort. This may be saying, that finally you're going to get to a point where you're going to have a solid foundation. And seeing that with Osiris down here, which is actually Sagittarius energy, it's more fire energy. There's definitely the idea of creating a solid foundation with a job or career. And again, we've got adjustment and we've got temperance, which is the Art card. This is definitely about finding balance. So that is most definitely the message with regard to career. You need to find a balance. And again, work-life balance is the most obvious. But it also may be a balance between, what you might feel you need to do to make financial ends meet and what is really meaningful to you. Okay. Let's look at the 9th house, which is Sagittarius energy. 9th house is about expansion. It's Jupiter energy. Long distance travel, higher education, spirituality, things, whatever it is that expands your horizons, that makes you feel free and independent and so forth. And you've got the 9 of Cups with both. So yeah, this is a highly independent card, the 9 of Cups, but this is about wishes granted. So I feel like you're going to be able to, the time is right. I'm seeing this, the Thoth is showing up here for a lot of people. The time is right, and you're able to get your wishes either through a long trip that you're making. It could be a spiritual thing. It could be something that awakens you spiritually in some way. It could also be a way in which you're educating yourself or educating others. But whatever this is usually a sense of satisfaction that is personal, rather than the Ten of Cups, which is more of a community sense of satisfaction. So you have the ability to achieve whatever your personal goals or wishes are at this time. And I mention education specifically because Thoth is a card of education and higher ed. So that may be the case for somebody. Maybe you're thinking of going back to school, and maybe this is going to enable you to achieve your goals and your wishes. Or you might even have encounters there that are meaningful. So yeah, very good with the Jupiter energy here, and being able to expand your horizons. And what I'm seeing in the 10th house with Saturn here, and also with Virgo, these energies that tend to be very perfectionist, very, slow and steady, take your time. We're seeing all of those energies kind of being honored here. So I feel like because perhaps you have focused on balance or tried to keep your feet on the ground with things, that you're going to be rewarded in some way. There is going to be some kind of a reward. And yeah, it does seem like there is going to be something that's achievable here, either through a long journey, going back to school. This could be something spiritual for you. A lot of possibilities there, but whatever it is, the 9th house is about expansion and freedom. So it does seem like whatever your wishes have been in that, the right time is coming for you to achieve them. Now, the 11th house is Aquarius energy. This has to do with your social networks, your friends, and also with your goals, what you're trying to manifest. And wow, yeah, we've got Ta with the 3 of Pentacles. So there's definitely the sense of working with others here, collaborating. This could be somebody in your social network and your friend groups, but there is definitely this strong sense that you're able to move ahead here, okay? And this is collaborating with others. So yeah, I do feel like maybe some of this balance is going to be achieved by working with others. Ta is definitely a card of hard work. It's Capricorn energy. It's building something slow and steady. It's interesting because you're a water sign, Scorpio, but you have a lot of this energy of, really, I feel almost like it's a slowing down energy. Like you want to work at something. You're persisting in working at something. You're still trying to build something. You're still trying to network with people here. You may even have people who will be reaching out to you to help you. But you want to do this in a balanced way. You want to do this in a way that's not, where you're not, as we see over here, overworked. Like the time for you to be overworked and trying to take on the responsibilities of, 50 people in one is coming to an end, okay? And I think you are tired of it. There's definitely a lot of energy here around. I've done a lot of work now. I'm tired. I'm ready to get mine. Okay, in terms of love, those of you who are looking for love, and again, as I always say, I realize there are people who are married who are probably watching this or are in some kind of a long-term partnership. And so we're going to start by talking about those who are looking for love. And okay, you've got Bast with the Tower. So this is in the Leo house. This has to do with love affairs. Now, this can also have to do with creative projects for some people, I just want to note, or maybe even something with children. So keep that in mind. But when the Tower shows up, then we are in a space where we've had a shock. We've had a surprise. Something's going to be rattled. Now, remember, eclipses bring information. In Pisces, this could be intuitive information, or it could be something that has been in a fog suddenly becomes clear. So it seems to be showing up in the 5th house for you. So if you are in a relationship or looking for a relationship, there could be some sudden change or sudden revelation around a particular person. Now, Bast has the qualities of, it's a happiness card. It's a social card. It has to, music, dance, things like that. So I don't know if we're talking about a person who's involved in one of these things. There's also strong Aquarian energy with Bast. So this could be somebody who's an Aquarius, but it does not have to be. Bast is a card of happiness and sociability and going out and being seen, being recognized. But you have it with the Tower. Now, looking over at the 7th house, okay, we've got Isis and we've got the Knight of Wands. For some of you, and again, this is kind of probably a very specific message, you could be dealing with somebody who you maybe have been having fun with, who's proved to be something of a player. Okay, because Knight of Wands is a very restless energy, somebody who does not want to settle down, okay? And Isis may indicate it's somebody with whom you need to show some patience if you want to be involved with them. They may want their freedom, okay? And that may be why you might be relishing freedom right now. There's definitely a sense here of Knight of Wands energy. I mean, it can be player energy. It can be the energy of somebody who is restless, who wants to move, who doesn't, whether they're a player or not, this is somebody who doesn't want to settle down, somebody who wants to travel, be on the move, restless, very restless energy here. And with Isis, I I don't know. Some of you could be taking on the mothering role with this person too. This person might be looking to you as kind of like a mommy figure more than as a lover or as a spouse or a partner, or as somebody who's like a serious in a partnership. You may be taking on more of the mommy role, whether you're male or female. Okay, you can have whoever the nurturer is in the relationship, and you have a restless person with it. I don't know. It could be somebody that you've met recently who you've really gotten on with well. It may be telling you, this person may be a bit of a player. So if you're already married, again, there may be some kind of a restlessness. But see, Isis is also a card of having to be patient and persisting patiently with something. So I don't know. There could be a restlessness with your spouse. It does not have to be a restlessness in terms of, infidelity and things like that. Like that's not. I don't necessarily feel that's what it is. I just feel like there's things that maybe you and your partner may be anxious to get on with. This could be a business partnership too. But again, there's been this need to be patient. So take it as it resonates. But yeah, it does seem like there's going to be some kind of shock revelation or something with regard to this area. And again, if you're not looking for love, or this doesn't have to do with love affairs, this could have to do with the project you're working on, or it can have to do with a child. And again, I don't necessarily think this has to be a negative thing, just that you find something out that you're like, whoa, that kind of gets rid of false foundations. The Tower breaks down false foundations and allows us to restart something in a new way that is correct. It's about correction when we see the Tower. It tears down what's false and allows us to build up what's true. Okay, so yeah, take that as it resonates there. I'm just looking at how many majors we have in here. We've got 1, 2. Actually, yeah, you've got the Star and the Tower right next to each other. And those two cards actually go together. The Tower is what's broken down. The Star is the new beginning or possibility. So I don't know. There's something that's being torn down, but it's going to allow for this new beginning here in some way. This is really interesting. I'm trying to see if I can get a sense more of what this is about, because if this has to do with a child, I mean, it could even be a child who has been in a bad situation. Maybe something finally comes to a crisis point, and then maybe now that child is going to come home if they've been away, and maybe there's going to be a chance for them to start over and for things to go well. Maybe they're going to go back to school. Maybe if they've had a crisis and not felt like being in school, like maybe now, there just seems like there's definitely this chance for expansion and possibility and new partnerships. So I don't know, maybe if there's something from the past you've been hanging on to, maybe it's just going to be kind of like, oh, okay, now we're going to really see the truth about this, and let's move on and focus on our own happiness here. Yeah, there's a lot in here about, I feel like there's going to be some revelation. Some of them are definitely going to be around either love or children. And, this could be something where there's some restlessness in a marriage relationship, but career looks really, really solid here. Some decisions about money, putting down burdens and really getting serious with yourself about who you are and where you might be carrying those illusions. Because eclipses bring clarity. They bring us that information that we were not expecting to get. And your overall, you've got Sept overall. So this may be a time where you have been very anxious, especially with Lotus. With this, Lotus is about whether or not the foundations, maybe everything you're doing, are going to be shaken up. Because it seems like when it comes in the center, it can be touching every area of life. So right now, you may feel like you are blocked. You may be feeling anxious about where certain things are going. But we have the Queen of Discs here. So the Queen of Discs, this is strong earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So this could represent a literal person like that. Or this could be somebody who is a mother figure, or somebody who is just somebody. This is just about being very practical, very grounded, one foot in front of the other. This is about somebody who is homey, familiar. There's the energy of sharing with this card, the energy of good health and good nutrition, and all the things that go along with it, all the things that make us feel solid and stable and grounded. So the fact that this is showing up in the center, I think what it is a piece of advice here. I think it's telling you that that's where you want to put your focus right now. There may be some other things that are going on. You want to find work-life balance. You may be overworking, okay? This is suggesting that there is going to be security, if that has been an issue. And yeah, so I feel like there's been a lot of Pentacles energy in a lot of readings that are telling people to just, slow down, don't run around and get anxious. Yeah, there could be some messages and surprises. You need time to integrate all of this. So I feel like that's what we're dealing with, Scorpio. You need time to integrate the new, and you need to, and again, there's some really wonderful things coming up, either connected to the family or connected to travel. Maybe even you're going to be moving. Who knows? There just seems to be something really wonderful that's coming up for you. You are definitely going to have a chance to expand your horizons and get your wishes, but there's just something you're going to have to drop. And maybe it's something that you're going to come to a maybe initially uncomfortable realization about over here in this Leo house, about something either you're recognized for or about a relationship. But whatever it is, there's definitely this sense of you, there's a lot of, Capricorn energy, 3 of Pentacles. We've got, what was the other ones? We've got Adjustment, we've got Osiris, we've got Earth, we've got Art. And then we see this Buckle of Isis over here, and we see this Queen of Discs in the center, and the 3 of Discs over here. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, this is about you. It's like whatever's going on right now, keep your feet on the ground. That's what it's telling you to do. Let's see what the astrology cards want to say to you. So this is for Scorpio. Scorpio for September 17 through 30. What does Scorpio need to know? Let's see what we get. Oop, that's too many. We don't need 6 cards. We just need 1. Let's see who wants to jump out. Oh, here we go. Taurus. Again, earth grounding. Taurus says you will own it, okay? So, yeah, this is definitely about getting your feet on the ground. It's about having patience. Taurus energy is, yeah, this is something that's a little more fixed. So, yeah, there may be an anxiety. I feel like there's a restlessness here. I think this is part of the problem, Scorpio, is that you maybe have felt burdened by something for a long time. Maybe you've gotten some unpleasant news about something recently, and you may be ready to make a new start. You may be ready to move on and so forth. And it sounds like you're going to move in that direction. But for right now, just keep your feet on the ground, okay? Slow and steady here with this Taurus energy. There's a fire here. You have very, very deep and intense emotions, Scorpio. So you might have a tendency to be quick to anger in some situations, or like you something people don't see for a long time, and then all of a sudden it comes out of nowhere, because this is 12th house. This is like, okay, this wasn't here, and now all of a sudden it's coming out. But as I said at the beginning, I feel like there's an impatience here, and this is just telling you slow and steady right now. Find your balance, find your work-life balance. Allow yourself to absorb new changes. There does seem like there's going to be a lot of new possibilities and opportunities ahead, so not to worry. But yeah, right now you just want to get clear on who you are and where you're going, okay? I hope this reading was helpful, Scorpio. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about videos. As I mentioned, my services, you can check out my website, transitionlifecoaching.net, which is in the description box below. Have a wonderful rest of September, and I will see you in the next video.